Welcome to Math Vibes. Today we are going to learn about rotational symmetry. What is rotational symmetry and how we come to know that something is having rotational symmetry or not. So this video is in continuation. It is part 3 of the video What is Symmetry that is there on the channel earlier. And now we are going to study in detail about it. Those who are new to our channel, don't forget to click on the subscribe button. So what is rotational symmetry? Rotational word is made from rotation, which means turn. Rotation, which means turn. Upturn. Now turn will be around something. Okay. So about something. So action of turning a figure around a point or a vertex is called rotation. किसी point के around या किसी vertex के around जब कोई चीज rotate होती है उसको हम बोलते हैं rotation. ओके और अगर ऐसे रोटेट होते टाइम एक पॉइंट के या एक वर्टेक्स के अराउंड रोटेट होते टाइम इफ द फिगर्स आर कमिंग आउट टू बी सिमेट्रिकल then they are said to have rotational symmetry. We will study it in detail. Let's see ahead. So suppose this is the figure. Now it is rotating about around this point. Okay, so this turning of a figure around a point or a vertex, and here in this case this is the vertex. So rotational symmetry, when you say like the hands of the clock are going round, so what do you say when you see it watching the hands of a clock go round and round? Think. You say that they rotate. Okay, this is what we say. Then the hands of a clock are rotating. And if you see, then they are rotating about around this certain point or vertex, which we call, right? Now, so the hands of a clock rotate in one direction about a fixed point, that is the center of the clock face, as you have seen in some time back only. See, over here also, if you observe this figure carefully, then they are moving in this direction, right? So, this direction, if you observe it carefully, it is moving like that, right? So, rotation, like movement of the hands of a clock, is called a clockwise rotation. Otherwise, it is said to be anti-clockwise rotation. Okay, even when we are doing rotational symmetry, we will check that whether it is in a clockwise direction or it is an anti-clockwise direction. Okay, so if you are confused in what is clockwise and what is anti-clockwise, please look at the clock carefully. The way it is moving right now, okay, this is called clockwise direction in which the hands of a clock move. And otherwise, if it is moving in an opposite way, then that is called anti-clockwise direction. Now next is, what can you say about the rotation of the blades of a ceiling fan? If you observe your ceiling fan carefully, then what can you say about its rotation? Well, for that you can just turn on your fan and see on your own. You will observe that most of the ceiling fans, they are designed to spin in an anti-clockwise direction because of the angles and the pitch of its blades. A ceiling fan circulates air and creates a cool breeze. Okay, so they are mostly designed to rotate or to spin in an anti-clockwise direction. Alright, now what can you say about the rotation of the blades of a ceiling fan versus table fan? What about a table fan? How they are rotating? Now these are the examples of rotational symmetry in a day-to-day life. Ceiling fan, table fan, they all tend to have rotational symmetry. We will see more examples of it, but firstly let's discuss ceiling fan versus table fan. Ceiling fan, we have seen that they rotate, the blades of the ceiling fan rotate in an anti-clockwise direction. But if you will observe carefully, then in a table fan the blades are fixed to the rotor and the movement appears to be clockwise. In a table fan the movement appears to be clockwise, but in a ceiling fan the blades are fixed to the stator and hence the movement appears to be anti-clockwise. Okay, so in a ceiling fan it appears to be anti-clockwise and in a table fan it is clockwise. Now, what can you say about the rotation of the wheels of a bicycle? Still, we have not started with rotational symmetry, that what it is exactly, and you can see many more examples of rotational symmetry. We have discussed ceiling fan, we have discussed table fan, and now we are discussing the wheel of a bicycle. Now, it is a very beautiful thing to observe that you will check. Can you tell me? Can you think? Like, what can you say about the rotation? See, it can rotate in either way. It can rotate in either way. Yes, you can move the bicycle forward also and you can move the bicycle backward also. So it can rotate in both the ways, right? So it can be moved in clockwise direction and it can be moved in anti-clockwise direction. So that means it is not fixed, right? The rotation is not fixed. It is not like that it always has to be in clockwise direction or it always has to be in anti-clockwise direction. It can be in both ways too. Now, when an object rotates, its shape and size do not change. Okay, just like we have seen in reflectional symmetry video, the length and the angle size of an angle etc does not change. Same way, when we are talking about rotational symmetry, then also its shape and size do not change. The rotation just turns an object about a fixed point. सिर्फ कोई भी object जो है वो rotate होता है और रोटेट होके उसकी एक पर्टिकुलर एंगल में रोटेट होके वो पिछली वाली पोजीशन से मर्ज कर जाता है. Okay, so it appears to be same. That is why it is a rotational symmetry. Okay, that is why it is rotational symmetry. So this paper windmill you must have seen. Okay, so here this fixed point in this paper windmill, if you must have made also in your science projects or you have seen also the windmills, they are also the beautiful example of rotational symmetry. So this point which is fixed over here is called the center of rotation. हमने वीडियो के बिगनिंग में ही देखा था कि जब भी रोटेशन होती है it is always around a fixed point which is also called vertex. Okay, the center or the vertex. So it is always around a fixed point and here that fixed point is called the center of rotation. In rotational symmetry, that fixed point will be called the center of rotation. Okay, so now when we are turning it, जब हम उसको टर्न करते हैं किसी भी चीज को देखने के लिए या रोटेट होती है कोई भी चीज तो वो किसी पर्टिकुलर एंगल पे टर्न होती है. तो जिस पर्टिकुलर एंगल पे हम उसको टर्न कर रहे हैं दैट पर्टिकुलर एंगल विल बी कॉल्ड द एंगल ऑफ रोटेशन. से फॉर एग्जांपल आई एम मूविंग समथिंग टू 90 डिग्रीज और 180 डिग्रीज. ओके, सो दे आर कॉल्ड द एंगल ऑफ रोटेशन. एक होता है सेंटर ऑफ रोटेशन जो कि फिक्स्ड है जिसके अराउंड हम किसी चीज को रोटेट कर रहे हैं. नेक्स्ट इज एंगल ऑफ रोटेशन, हम किस एंगल में उसको रोटेट कर रहे हैं. ओके, दैट विल बी टेकन केयर ऑफ. And the full turn, now if I am moving it completely then the full turn, okay, पूरे का पूरा रोटेट हो रहा है तो उस फुल टर्न को हम बोलेंगे 360 डिग्रीज. क्योंकि फुल टर्न मीन्स व्हाट, सर्कल बन गया. सर्कल का एंगल क्या होता है 360 डिग्रीज. सो फुल टर्न मीन्स अ रोटेशन ऑफ 360 डिग्रीज. A half turn means a rotation of 180 degrees. Half turn means semicircle. Semicircle is 180 degrees. Okay, so a quarter turn is a rotation by 90 degrees. Remember, quarter is 1/4 of something. So if the complete angle is 360, then the quarter turn is by 90 degrees. Okay, so 360 by 4 is 90. So next. So now again I am coming back to this paper windmill. This paper windmill in the picture, it looks symmetrical. right? It looks symmetrical, but you do not find any line of symmetry in that. Can you find out? See, we have discussed that symmetry is of different types. We have done line of symmetry, then we have done reflectional symmetry. Okay, today we are doing rotational symmetry. So in this picture also, if you try to fold this windmill along a certain line, then you will find out that it will not have coincident halves. Their halves will not match. Okay, but still we say that the paper windmill is an example of rotational symmetry. How? See, rotational symmetry is when you are moving something along a fixed point or the center of rotation. So when you move this windmill along the center of rotation, you will see that on in all the in some particular points in all the way along the way they will look symmetrical. So this is called rotational symmetry. Okay. However, if you rotate it by 90 degrees about a fixed point, now it will not have line of symmetry. But अगर आप इसको 90 degrees पे rotate करोगे इसी fixed point पे, you will see that this paper windmill will look exactly the same. So we say that this paper windmill has rotational symmetry. Okay, so it will have rotational symmetry. In a full turn, there are precisely 4 positions on rotation through the angles 90 degree, 180 degree, 270 degrees and 360 degrees when the windmill look exactly the same. If we talk about the paper windmill or the windmill, then along these certain 4 positions, that is on rotation through the angles 90 degree, 180, 270 and 360, its position will look the same. ओके सो यही रोटेशनल सिमेट्री होता है कि जब हम उसको रोटेट करें तो किस 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 एंगल पे रोटेट करने से वो फिगर बिल्कुल सिमेट्रिकल लगती है. Like for example, you must have seen Taj Mahal in picture or in real. Then if you see the Taj Mahal along all the 4 directions, then it looks exactly the same. Okay, so it will have rotational symmetry. So same way, though it not actually can rotate, obviously we are just imagining it. So if we talk about this windmill, then along these 4 positions 90 degree, 180, 270 and 360, it looks exactly the same. Okay, so these 4 angles are called the angles of rotation for this, and because it looks symmetrical at four different angles, so its order of rotation will be 4. Okay, because of this we say that it has a rotational symmetry of order 4. So when we talk about rotational symmetry, then we talk about the center of rotation. किस point के along हम rotate कर रहे हैं. Okay, एंगल ऑफ रोटेशन, कौन कौन से एंगल पे वो फिगर एग्जैक्टली सेम लगती है व्हेन वी रोटेट इट. ओके, एंड कितनी बार कितने एंगल्स पे लगी वो 4 टाइम्स ना, 4 टाइम्स वो सेम लग रही है, तो ऑर्डर ऑफ रोटेशनल सिमेट्री इज 4. Okay, so the third thing is order of symmetry, which is 4 in this case. Some example of rotational symmetry around us. Very common example you must have seen, even the London Eye looks like rotational symmetry example. Next is this one, again your famous toy. This ride, of course you must have taken it if you're not scared of rides, of course. This flower and spinner. Yes, spinner is an example of rotational symmetry. Now you have to find out what is its center and what is its order. So let's discuss rotational symmetry in detail. You must be confused about the angles that I am talking about here कि वो 90, 270, 180 कैसे हो रहा है. So I will explain it one more time. Okay, so see, first thing we have done is कि when we are discussing rotational symmetry, तो वो कोई भी चीज जो हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं वो एक सेंटर ऑफ रोटेशन के along रोटेट होती है. Okay, there is always a center of rotation, which we suppose in this case is this. अब ये फिगर है जिसको मैंने रोटेट करना है, ये इसका सेंटर है, इसके अलोंग उसने रोटेट होना है, राइट. सो if it is rotating like this, okay, if it is rotating like this, then it has taken a quarter turn or 90-degree rotation clockwise. Now it is moving clockwise. Okay, so 90-degree rotation it has taken. 1/4 turn लिया इसने, 90-degree rotation हो गई. Now another turn if it has taken like this. अब देखो अपनी ये वाली पोजीशन से यहाँ से वो शफल होके यहाँ पे आ चुकी है, तो वो बिल्कुल एग्जैक्टली सेम लग रही है. ओके, जब उसने 180 पे टर्न लिया तब वो फिगर बिल्कुल सेम वैसी लग रही थी जैसे वो बिगिनिंग में थी. ओके, तो अब ये कब हुआ? 180 डिग्री रोटेशन क्लॉकवाइज में. This clockwise, this I'm just giving an extra knowledge to you, so you just have to see कि किस किस एंगल की रोटेशन पे वो सेम लग रही है. तो अभी तक 90 पे सेम नहीं लगी, बट 180 पे वो सेम लग रही है. Now next is one more turn which is 270 डिग्री रोटेशन क्लॉकवाइज. इसमें भी वो फिगर सेम नहीं लग रही, राइट. बट अगेन इफ वी टेक अ 360 degree turn or a complete turn, then the figure look exactly the same. So that means दो बार ऐसा हुआ रोटेट करते टाइम, दो बार ऐसी कंडीशन आई जिसमें वो फिगर बिल्कुल वैसी लग रही थी जैसे हमें क्वेश्चन में गिवन था. ओके, एक 180 टर्न पे और एक 360 टर्न पे. तो दैट मीन्स दिस फिगर विल हैव रोटेशनल सिमेट्री ऑफ ऑर्डर 2. और अगर एंगल भी पूछा हो तो कौन कौन से एंगल पे? 180 डिग्री एंड 360 डिग्रीज. Let us look at this figure now. Now I'm taking another figure, quadrilateral. Its center of rotation is this. अब ये देखते हैं कि इस फिगर में रोटेशनल सिमेट्री है कि नहीं. अगर है तो इसका ऑर्डर क्या है और कौन कौन से एंगल पे है. Let's start from the first turn, 90 degrees. Does it look same? No. Next, 180 degrees. Does it look same? No. Does it look same? No. But when it takes a complete turn of 360 degrees, then it looks exactly the same as we were having. Okay, as we were having in the question. So सिर्फ एक टर्न पे, that is of 360 डिग्री एंगल, वो सेम वही फिगर बनी जो हमें क्वेश्चन में गिवन था. तो इसका मतलब इस फिगर का ऑर्डर ऑफ रोटेशनल सिमेट्री क्या है? 1. और अगर एंगल पूछा हो तो किस एंगल पे सेम हुआ? 360 डिग्रीज पे. Okay, so let us take the next. Now if I give you this rectangle and this as a center of rotation and I tell you that rotate it 90 degree clockwise, then how will it look? Think. How will it look? Like this. Okay, so next, now check. Let's check that if I rotate these figures along the way I've written in the question, then the answer will look like what? You can check on your own also. Please do it yourself, think in your mind, and then you can just match the answers to see whether you have understood the concept or not. So if I have to rotate this figure 90 degree clockwise, how will it look? Think. Yes, it will look like this. Now the second one, this arrow, if you have to rotate 90 degrees anti-clockwise, then how will it look? It will look like this. And then if you have to rotate this anti-clockwise, then how will it look? Like this. And then last one, rotating it 180 degrees clockwise, it will look like this. Okay, so if you have got all the answers correct, congratulations, you have understood the concept. Very well done. Let's move ahead. Now a very important thing, like very nice thing that you should know is that this Hindu swastik has 90-degree rotational symmetry. See, in this video we have discussed and taken so many examples from our real life situations only, which we commonly use and we commonly see, and they have rotational symmetry starting from ceiling fan, okay, table fan, and then windmill, paper windmill, this swastik, and there are many more mathematical figures you already know. So this swastik chin has 90-degree rotational symmetry. Also, the flag of Bangladesh has 180-degree rotational symmetry. Now this is just an example that I have taken, that there are many national flags of different countries that have rotational symmetries. You can check out many on your own also, that what type of rotational symmetry they are having. This is just an example that this flag of Bangladesh has 180-degree rotational symmetry. Okay, now one important thing that you should keep in your mind, that think of some more examples like these from your real life situations and which have rotational symmetry. Okay, think of such cases, and when you have thought of these examples, then do find out that in those cases what is the center of rotation, what is the angle of rotation in which it has rotational symmetry, and in which direction the angle or the rotation is affected, किस डायरेक्शन में टर्न करूं तो वो रोटेशनल सिमेट्री बनती है, क्लॉकवाइज डायरेक्शन, एंटी क्लॉकवाइज डायरेक्शन, एंड ऑफ कोर्स द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज द ऑर्डर ऑफ रोटेशनल सिमेट्री. रोटेशनल सिमेट्री का ऑर्डर क्या है, कितने ऑर्डर में कितनी बार वो फिगर सेम लगती है रोटेट करने पे. ओके, so these are the important things which you should keep in your mind and for which you should understand it better, that how rotational symmetry happens. So one more very important example or the formula is that angle of rotation into order of rotation is equal to 360 degrees. So if in any case you know the angle of rotation and you want to find out the order of rotation, okay, if you know the angle of rotation and you want to find out the order of rotation, then the formula can be order of rotation is equal to 360 degree over angle of rotation. तो आपको order पता चल जाएगा. पर अगर किसी केस में आपको एंगल ढूंढना है और ऑर्डर पता है, एंगल ऑफ रोटेशन का फॉर्मूला क्या होगा, 360 ओवर ऑर्डर ऑफ रोटेशन. Okay, so this is one very important formula to find out either angle of rotation or order of rotation if one is known. All right, hope you have understood the topic. Hope you have known what is rotational symmetry till now. If yes, don't forget to click on the subscribe button. Do like the content, and for more videos you can visit our channel also. And the next video in this series will be part 4 on transitional symmetry, which we are going to learn in higher classes. So stay in touch. Bye bye. Happy learning.